And it's time for some on fire, burning me, Holy Ghost Christians that begin to go out and to cause this resurrection to take place amongst God's so-called named kids. Well, when Jesus got around to going there, he just said, roll the stone away. But Master, he stinks by now. Church mind, religious mind, can't quite figure this out. I mean, he's dead. Too late. But Jesus knew who he was, didn't he? Do you know who you are? Ugh. Oh, man. I've seen the dead raised, so I know what happens today. I've talked about that some. But Jesus goes up to that tomb. And he's not worried about it stinking. But I don't want to get too close to that person. I mean, after all, Yeah. Quit worrying about it. Do you know who you are? Jesus didn't care if he was laying dead, rotted, stinking. It didn't make any difference to Jesus. Because he knew that he was a resurrection God. And when he got there, and Martha, Mary, they said, oh, but Jesus, had you been here, if you had just been here, our brother would not have died. Well, where is Jesus? Where is he? In you? Where is that resurrection power today? Where is it? It's in you. Know you not that you're the temple of the Most High God? Jesus Christ lives within you, and that means resurrection power lives within you. Do you know who you are? Do you really know? You have power and authority. Jesus appointed the disciples and gave them power. He empowered them, and he sent them out with that power to do the work, to do the greater works. Maybe this will be my fourth message on the greater works. But he sent them out. He's sending you out. But you've got to know who you are. And he stood there with the stone rolled back. And he looked inside. He didn't see any live person in there. He saw the one that they said he stinks. Now, here's something about Jesus. Get ready. But it said, he spoke with a loud voice. And he said, Lazarus! Lazarus! Church! Come forth! Come forth! Arise! The guy gets up. Hops out. Now, he has to hop because he's all bound up. He's still got the grave clothes on. But he's alive. You're going to get people that come to the altar to get born again, to be saved. And they're still in the grave clothes. They still stink. They still got their old, maybe alcohol mentality. They've still got their old drug mentality. They've still got their old sin and lust and all of the other stuff that the church has allowed them to have. And they come and they stink. But Jesus said, turn them loose. In other words, get close enough to unwind those grave clothes. Ew, but they stink. They had little rotten flesh stuck to them, It's still there. Just because somebody comes to this altar to get saved and to get born again, don't mean that they have arrived. It don't mean that you can expect them to be everything perfect overnight. And it don't mean that you can expect yourself to have arrived. Sometimes people just stick too much out of themselves. And then when they fail, they do a number on themselves. You're going to fail. Because if you don't have failures, you'll never grow. If you don't learn through the mistakes that you make, to keep looking up, to keep looking up. I've talked to different people and they say, we're going through such a hard time. It's such a hard time that we're going through. If I tell somebody that, they say, yeah, everybody is. And we are going through hard times. And why? I think it's because the church does not know who they are. They do not know and understand the resurrection power that lives within them. They do not know and understand that they can say to that person that's having a hard time, I speak life to you. I speak life over you. That lady that I raised from the dead, I said, I bind that spirit of death. And I speak life. And I speak healing. And she walked home. Now, we have that power within us. But most of the church will sit back and say, I don't believe that. Well, you won't make it happen either. Most of the people in so-called religious settings need some deliverance. But they'll argue with you. Well, Christian can't have a demon. Okay. Keep it. Just keep it. But they can die with cancer. What is that? It's sure not life. It's sure not Christ. It's sure not God. It must be from a demonic source. I'd say deliverance might be the thing. Or we can have our illicit affairs, or we can just be together and we don't have to be married, you know. You got a demon of lust that has a hold of you, that has lied to you, and has said religion will work for you. If you want to go to church, and I don't know why they go, but if you want to go to church, that's okay. But don't come to this church. You'll get set free. You'll get delivered. Someday, everyone is going to stand before the judgment throne of God. And you don't know when that's going to be. You don't know. I almost got there this morning. Sam loves to tell it, but I'll tell it. Because I pulled out on that highway, out on that interstate, and I didn't see that big old truck full of logs until I had to get just pretty much off the road because he couldn't get over. But I didn't see him. And I wouldn't do it on purpose. But just that fast. You don't know. You just don't know. And so you need to be ready instantly at all times in all seasons, because someday you'll stand before the judgment throne. There are some things that are certain. One certain thing is, you find it in Mark 12:18, but it says the Sadducees came and they said, there's no resurrection. There's no resurrection. If there was no resurrection, then there's no resurrection power. If there's no resurrection power, then you don't have the power of God within you. And if you don't have the power of God within you, why bother? But there is resurrection. But the Sadducees and the religious forms, then there's some that they believe in the resurrection, but, you know, it's like, oh well. They just kind of put it down, and they don't want to do that themselves. They don't want to be responsible to rise up and speak life into somebody or to speak healing over somebody, because what if it doesn't work? What will they think of me? Who cares? It will work. It will work when Jesus works it.